co-founded the nonprofit for a number of reasons, but the one that's most relevant here is I was in a forum where there was a tremendous amount of local elected political leadership, and my question to those folks was, what's your vision for the next 30 years in our community? What do you see happening here? And I got stammers and stalls and stutters. One of those people looked me in the eyes and said, sometimes places just need to take a deep breath and pause for a moment. This was at the same time that I had 5 little brothers and sisters in Hamilton County Public Schools. One little sister who was 14 got pregnant. One little brother who was kicked out of 3 different schools until he went to alternative school. And I just couldn't see how it made sense for us to take a deep breath when that was the condition that these kids were living in. So we started Create Here, and we worked to help entrepreneurs, we worked to help artists, we worked to teach young people how to be the next generation of leaders for our community. We've done okay at it. It's been a 5-year project, and it grew and grew. And it was under that same idea, where are we going as a community? And Chattanooga Stand was basically 4 questions about the future of our community. What do you like about the Chattanooga region? Imagine the best Chattanooga region possible, describe it. What are your top 3 concerns for the region? And big or small, what can you do to help? And we organized ourselves and added a lot of part-time staff. We got 26,000 people to fill out that survey. It became the world's largest community visioning process. And what we found in that community visioning process that was taken during pretty much the trough of the worst economic recession that I've certainly seen in my lifetime were top concerns from our community. The 3rd most important concern was jobs and equity in jobs. 2nd biggest concern was crime. And interestingly, the word gangs was used 3,000 times. This was long before we even started admitting that we had a gang problem in Chattanooga. And the number 1 priority for 26,000 people in this region was public education. What's concerning about what you see in that survey is you get to question number 4. Now, they've just told you their number 1 concern is public education. But question 4 says, big or small, what can you do to help? And the answers start becoming things like pick up trash, recycle. Nothing that translates back to a public education system. And so I think the message that I read from Chattanooga Stand is not that people are concerned, it's that people don't know how to help. And I think the first move towards being able to help is organization. If as many people are sitting in this room right now showed up at a school board meeting for anything other than a shiny object issue, it'd be near mutiny. If you've ever been to the school board, it's a very small place. Not a lot of people show up and witness what happens. And I'm convinced that we could take an issue that was almost irrelevant and this many people pile into the room, and the school board would be up in arms immediately about it, not knowing what to do. So I say that not to say let's go out and cause chaos. I say that to say we have every ability in this room alone to make a huge difference. So we did the world's largest community visioning process, and once again I kind of failed in my inclination that if we build it, they will come. We gave this back to the city council, the county commission, the school board, and anybody else that would listen to us, and we still haven't seen, an overriding community drive towards helping our public education system. So now we're going to try one more time, and how we're trying is through education dividends. And we figured that we had to reframe it as economic opportunity so we can try to get business people on board too. And so we did some research, and the Ox Center helped us out with it, and we found out 2 things that are pretty fascinating. One that I learned early on in my career that was reinforced, and that's that every dollar invested in early childhood education yields a $7 return. So we can decide, and I think if any of you saw Jeffrey Canada when he was here, we can decide whether we want to, invest a little bit more on the front end in our children's education, so $5,000 to $6,000 a year, or we can spend more on prison beds on the back end at $35,000 a year. It's sort of up to us. Also, increasing our high school graduation rates by 2% would result in a total benefit to the community of over $44 million. What's really cool about that is it's only 60 more graduates per year. And that's in lifelong earnings opportunities, strain to the social service and to the criminal system. A number of things factor into that. I'll leave you with these two provocations because I've spent many sleepless nights thinking about how we do something about education. And it's complex. It's hard to sink your teeth into. It seems insurmountable. This is a $365 million a year annual budget in Hamilton County alone. 42,500 kids, if I remember right, somewhere in there. Around 5,000 employees. That budget is almost as big as the city budget and the county budget stacked together. It's quite overwhelming when you step up to it. But there's two pieces that I think matter. One is community-wide expectations. I know that I'm sitting in the chair that I am today because my parents expected me to do something with my life. And a lot of other people expected me to do something with my life. And I'm not saying that it has to be your parents that expect you to do something. Just somebody has to expect you to do something. And we all have people in our lives that we can have expectations of and show them to rise to our expectations. We also have to have those expectations for those people that are in a number of roles within the system. And two, we have to find ways to drive accountability. Now, I think about this one all the time, and I've got 1 minute left, so I'll just leave you with this. I've been to business school twice, to two really good business schools. I can run pro formas, I can run multi-million-dollar a year corporations and organizations. But to be on the school board, you've got to be qualified to run a $365 million a year organization. And with two business degrees, I don't feel confident to even raise my hand to run. Now, do the people that we have right now, are they qualified to run that $365 million a year organization? And are they even thinking about it like that? I don't know.